Hey everyone, been a little while, but I've been a little ill over the holidays. Shout out COVID. But I'm back and I just want to drop a quick video on NaVi on Dust 2 with the pistol B setup that they have. Let's begin against Vitality. We get to see a situation where NaVi lean towards B with their presence and utility, giving Simple the green light to push up middle and Electronic to pay attention to long on the A side of the map. Bit manages to find 2 kills peeking into tunnel, and this eventually forces Vitality to look for other options, as they rotate to try and reach A via short, but get cut short in middle, which leads to Apex being left in a 1v4 against NaVi, so of course we know he loses out on it. What I think is great about this setup is that you can play off of the site of B really well and support a single player on the site if there's going to be any oncoming action. And all while the other side in the map is not completely abandoned. Let me walk on through the players' POVs and note the important intricacies between them. I will cover Electronic and Simple first as they are left to their own devices. Electronic, as we see, is set up to watch A long with armor and a pistol in hand, looking to take fights and early information. It can be safe to peek this as you won't necessarily be one-tapped early on, and yourself likely getting the first kill if anyone does peek you because of the difference in the pistols and the ranges at play. More importantly though, you can easily find your way back to the A site if you need to retreat, as you must keep in mind how difficult it is for the Ts to take this long range with Glocks. Again, the range on them is pretty awful, so for them to get close, utility is often needed to put the Ts in more favourable positions, and as a result, this would telegraph any long push, giving Electronic the contact he needs to back off before he even sees anyone. This long hold works in tandem with Simple's push up middle. This is a risky push out of Simple and is something that naturally you'd risk when you're probably more confident in your ability to hit the shots than the 9 other people on the server. But, of course this is a calculated risk against Vitality, thanks to the coach and analyst's research around the opponent. This middle push can allow for a flank on long, say if Electronic got pushed early, or he can play the T spawn area to cut off rotations back and between either side of the map, messing with the T's early default in the round. What is more important here though, from Simple, is the fact that he made it here and got no information, meaning that the T's are likely towards the site NaVi has chosen to reinforce this round. This push up middle and this close hold to long A means there can easily be a flank towards middle or B early in the round if they have enough contact and the B players delay enough. Meaning that if there is a rotation between the tunnels to any other point on the map, say short or going back to long, they can easily get caught off by these 2 players that have pushed up. Let's address the B site now. When you have a player like Bit, you shouldn't be surprised that he's pulled out 2 one-taps on the opponents in tunnel. We can see that after this contact, Perfecto is flashing for Bit for further peeks. You could tell how these flashes could disrupt any Ts that want to push out of tunnel onto the site, completely whiting them if they were facing where Bit was just peeking. It's worth noting here, Boomich drops spare flashes for Perfecto to deal with this take, so that Boomich can sufficiently support middle and Perfecto can continue supporting Bit. As Simple is tucked, Boomich does jiggle the mid doors for contact throughout the round as Simple goes back and forth between watching long and bottom mid. More contact is had on B, so Boomich flashes for his teammates to again assist in holding off the Ts and allowing for the CTs to peek, if they want. Eventually, the Ts then do decide to go mid to A, and get caught out on the rotation due to Electronic's push and the B players rotating and checking mid doors. Naturally, like mentioned, Apex is in 1v4, which he does end up losing. With these pieces, you can see how it's almost perfect to corral these players in tunnel and then also pick them off on the rotation by the players long and mid, being able to flank top mid. With this kind of setup. They actually run it twice during the Blast series, both the global and the part before it, so I want to run through how they play it against Liquid because it's a different scenario there, but the idea was to have the same-ish setup. This is going to be a bit briefer because the setup was more successful on the Vitality round, but I want to see how they wing it against the Liquid round when things get a little bit disrupted. So, against Liquid, like I mentioned, it's a similar strat with 3B, 1 pushing mid and 1 long. This time with Bit long and Electronic on B. Liquid smoke off Xbox and actually managed to pressure off Simple instead of him managing to get into the cubby up top mid. Simple initially heads towards the A site, but with the noise cues, he joins to support middle instead. They try to counter-flash the push coming doors and simple swings off of Perfecto's flash this time, really trying to prevent the split and trying to keep mid doors under the control of the CTs. As we see, Bit then in turn with that begins working on the flank, so they could have a protocol in order where if there's mid door pressure, they try to get this flank in, so they have to delay them mid doors so Bit can get there in time. Or it's an on the fly call which is good enough where I can mistake it for being a protocol. All hail Boomich. Eventually though, the T's do head back towards B, and now we can see that there's more HEs on the team this time than before, which is a different choice but maybe a late round idea that I wasn't aware of. However, we can see how these HEs are used perfectly on this version of the strat, because as these guys enter tunnels and there's contact on them, Perfecto throws this perfect HE and it comes out mahoosive, throwing this nade off the contact from Electronic and lands massive damage. We then see this turn into a B split for real this time, with trades going back and forth turning into an absolute slugfest with all the utility gone, but from the utility usage earlier in the round, the final T's left alive are left with 50 HP collectively. Bit laughs off the attempt of holding the bomb site and just headshots the T's anyway because, you know, that was totally necessary and wins out the round. However, here we can see if you're more inclined to use utility to get more damage and are often losing to pistols because you're just not hitting the shots, maybe this version of the setup with responsive nades in familiar circumstances can do the damage for you to help you hold out the round. I hope you enjoyed this one. I know it's a short one, but again, you could probably hear I'm a little ill, and it is the holiday season after all, although I did want to get out a few more videos, you know, around this time, but it's fine. I'm looking forward to the new year, maybe hitting 1K in the, January, so fingers crossed for that. But 2021's been a pretty good year for CS, while all this nonsense has been going on. And I really do look forward to seeing what could happen in the year of 2022 with CS. Be sure to sub below for more videos in the future, and I'll catch you in the next one, Future Pros.